Hello and welcome to Speed Cafe's preview of the Belgian Grand Prix, proudly brought to you by the Ford Ranger Raptor, three-time winner at Finke. The Formula One World Championship heads to the Spa-Francorchamps circuit for round 13 of the 2025 season, with the legendary Belgian circuit once again set to host the action. This year marks the 70th running of the Belgian Grand Prix, adding another milestone to one of the sport's most iconic events. At 7.004 kilometers, the circuit is the longest on the Formula One calendar and one of the most demanding. Its sweeping high-speed corners, dramatic elevation changes, and famously unpredictable weather make it a true test for both car and driver. From the fearsome Eau Rouge combination to the long blast down the Kemmel Straight and the technical middle sector, Spa punishes mistakes and rewards bravery. And as always, while the focus will be on track, there will be plenty of eyes on the off-track action, as Red Bull prepares for its first ever Grand Prix without Christian Horner at the helm. Of course, only a couple of weeks ago, the long-serving team principal was dramatically sacked after 2 decades at the helm of the team. With Horner gone, it means that Laurent Mekies is now in control of Red Bull, stepping in from Racing Bull. As the team hopes to improve their form, given that they are currently sitting 4th in the Constructors' Championship, their lowest placing in the Constructors' Championship at the halfway point of the season in a decade. Outside of the change at Red Bull, eyes will remain on McLaren, as Lando Norris hopes to continue his hot form and aim for 3 victories in a row. His back-to-back wins in Austria and at home last time out in Silverstone means he's won 4 Grand Prix this season and now only sits 8 points behind Oscar Piastri. And while Norris heads into Belgium in hot form, one fact to note is that he has never finished on the podium in Belgium before. But with a car that relishes high speed, tracks, and his strong momentum building, Norris will be hoping to break that duck and continue to put pressure on Piastri. Speaking of Piastri, of course, he's hoping to bounce back after the Silverstone disappointment, where that controversial penalty behind the safety car cost him a likely win. And while his teammate hasn't exactly enjoyed a lot of success in Belgium over the years, Piastri's 2 visits to Spa have provided him some success. He led the majority of the sprint race back in 2023 before settling for 2nd, and finished 2nd in last year's Grand Prix. And speaking of last year's Grand Prix, Mercedes will enter this race hoping to regain the form that saw them finish 1-2 on track this time last year. George Russell crossed the line first last year in a dramatic victory with a superb strategy call in changeable conditions, but later was disqualified, handing the victory to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. With so many eyes on Russell and the Mercedes right now around the contract speculation with them and Max Verstappen, he'll be hoping to regain his form that took him the victory before the disqualification last year, as well as a couple of rounds ago that saw him take the win in Canada. And speaking of Russell's former teammate Lewis Hamilton, he once again is looking for that first podium in Ferrari red, and will hope to do so at a circuit that he has won 4 times at before. His Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc also has won at Spa. He took his very first Grand Prix victory at the circuit back in 2019 on an incredibly emotional and solemn weekend that saw the tragic death of F2 star Antoine Hubert. 2 more drivers to keep an eye out on this weekend are Max Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg. Verstappen is technically racing at home given that he was actually born in Belgium, and that always sees a huge contingent of Verstappen fans travelling to the circuit to cheer on their Dutch hero, and he'll be aiming to join Hamilton as a 4-time winner in Belgium. And for Hülkenberg, well, he remains Formula One's most popular man at the moment, finally breaking through for that first ever career podium after 239 Grand Prix in Silverstone. It was a fantastic race by him, and more so outside of that race, he continues on an absolute hot streak, aiming for his 5th consecutive points finish, something he hasn't achieved since way back in 2016 when he was racing with Force India. Back in those days, of course, there was no such thing as a sprint weekend, but in 2025 there most certainly is. And for the first time since Miami, we return to a sprint weekend here in Belgium, and it's the first time that Belgium has also hosted a sprint weekend since 2023. Another thing to note this weekend is that Pirelli are changing things up when it comes to tyre compound. The tyre manufacturer this weekend is going with the C1, the C3 and C4 compounds, completely skipping the C2 compound. Now, Pirelli have done this before, skipping a compound. The last time they did do it, though, was back in 2022. And the hope here is that it will widen the performance gap between the medium and soft compound tyres, promoting different race strategies and improving racing on track. And while we will wait with bated breath to see if that will change things up this weekend in Belgium, one thing you don't have to wait for bated breath for right now are some Belgian Grand Prix facts. Of the current circuits on the F1 calendar, Spa has one of the lowest pole to win conversion ratios, 35% to be precise, making it the fourth lowest of the current circuits, behind only Imola, Monza, and Baku. Safety cars are also common in Belgium, with a 75% chance of one happening during the race this Sunday. In terms of history, Ferrari lead the tally of most wins in Belgium, a total of 18 in history, while McLaren are second with 14. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Ferrari last won in 2019, Charles Leclerc taking that victory, or you got to go all the way back to 2012 for McLaren, when Jenson Button won the 2012 race. And one final Belgian Grand Prix fact for you, of course, the Belgian Grand Prix holds the record for the shortest race in F1 history. Who could remember only 4 years ago, 2021, when that rain-affected race saw only one lap technically at least, of racing, making it the shortest race in history, taking over from the 1991 Australian Grand Prix. Of course, we will be hoping for more than one lap this weekend. Probably going to happen also, given that we've got a sprint race. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And if you want to keep an eye on everything that is happening on the ground in Belgium, you got your eyes fixated right here to Speed Cafe. All the updates, news, and everything else that is happening across the weekend, you will find it right here. And if you want to know when and where to watch it, if you're in Australia and New Zealand, head to our website right now and you will be able to see all that. Keep your eyes peeled right here to Speed Cafe and enjoy the Belgian Grand Prix.